on, you're live. Go.
Good morning. We're gonna go feed our chickens and our bunnies, kind of doing our morning routine. We're just gonna show you what we're doing.
Yeah, we're at our rental house, so all of our filming has been at the property that we bought, but this is where we've been renting the past, what, 6 months at this point?
Mm-hmm.
It's a nice little spot with kind of a half-acre field next to us that we've got chickens and bunnies on. This morning we waited until the sun came out a little bit more to show just what we do every morning with our critters. So Tina's got kitchen scraps here that we kind of, you know, there's just miscellaneous stuff in here.
Little pieces of cheese,
Pepper
bread.
stems, cheese, piece of moldy bread.
This is for the bunnies, apples, some kale.
Here
Just
we've got a
scraps.
rain bucket where when it rains it leaks off of the roof right there, so when we don't have to use the hose we just get water out of this bucket.
All the daffodils that came up.
A little bucket of water like this is totally fine for the chickens. They're tall enough, they just reach down in it and drink it. So now we'll take you over there to get our other stuff.
Field.
We've got this bucket that we keep our wheels in rope. Give them some scratch, and I think they're low on layer feed, but that's not really something we bring out every day. We load it up and it lasts 3 or 4 days. So we'll go check that out first. It's our mobile chicken coop. We move them onto fresh grass every morning. So they poke around, they eat some of the grass, they poop all over the grass, and we keep them moving because it's good for them and it's good for this field. Sweetie, you want to get out the wheels? So these wheels go on the back. I'll get it.
Okay.
Wheel.
Slide those on. Hi, girls. Hi. They're all excited.
Tina's got a rope for the front. Go ahead, sweetheart.
Clip it on. Hi, Creamsicle. You guys are ready.
Get the water out of there.
Whoa. That's their old water.
All right, here go birds. Come on, birds. The main thing I'm doing is making sure I'm not running them over. Come on, birds. It's the lighting, it makes it a little hard to see. Come on, birds. I think I'm close now.
Oh, hands right there. Wait,
Yep.
Kirby.
Yep.
He's stuck. Look up.
Come on, bird.
About 1 more foot. There we go.
Right there. All right. Let's set up the live chicken cam.
Just took off the wheels again.
Fresh water. Alright. So I just throw a scratch out onto the ground for them. And that PVC feeder is mostly layer pellets, and the white is oyster shells for keeping their calcium levels up. And the more scraps we throw them, Tina's throwing the food scraps from yesterday. They don't eat the, whoops, sorry Gandalf. They don't eat a huge amount of pellets. The more extra scraps and scratch we throw them. So, okay, so that's really all we have to do first thing in the morning, and our chickens would stay alive if we do that every day. And that takes 10 minutes. But we just like the chickens, so we come out here multiple times to, you know, check for eggs is one thing we do. I'll turn the camera so you can see. There's their nesting boxes. We come check for eggs multiple times a day just because it's fun, and they're right by the house. So, but if we really wanted to be time efficient, we could move them once a day, come look for eggs another time once a day, and that's it. They could take 15 minutes a day total. We didn't mention our beautiful curtain back there.
My favorite.
If you're wondering, for the winter we were feeling like these poor birds are probably pretty cold. So we just decided to put that curtain up and a tarp on the back to kind of, behind that curtain are their
roosting bars.
Roosting bars, and so they sit up there on those, and now they kind of have a cozy curtain in front of them with a nice floral design, so we assume that makes them way warmer and more comfortable. We're still in mid-February, so I haven't even decided. I know I'll take the back tarp off to let more sun in, but I don't know. The curtain's kind of cute and not hurting anything, so I might just permanently leave that on there. It's also a little bit of a windbreak. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Yep, it's a good.
But yeah, I think it's open enough off the ground that there's plenty of airflow, so it's probably fine to leave. Anyways, I'm just yammering. Now we're at our second chicken tractor, which has actually become a bunny tractor. We have a bunny hutch in here. Sorry if the lighting's pretty rough. Can I fit this thing in there? We're going in. Maybe I need to lower the tripod a little bit. That's probably okay. So that bunny hutch, originally when we got Arya's 2 pet bunnies, they just lived in that hutch and didn't really get out much except when she took them out to handle them. And I knew I wanted to build a second chicken tractor to eventually do meat chickens or something, but we found that this hutch was just small enough and light enough to carry around, and so during the day we just let the bunnies out and they have a great time eating fresh grass. We only move them every few days because it's just 2 little bunnies. They don't eat the grass, all the grass in one day. But every morning we just open it up and we've got this fine piece of wood making a ramp, and the bunnies love it. We really like that we can just let them out to hop around every day. They eat fresh grass. The grass is so nice that we don't have to feed them pellets at all. We bring them scrap apple cores and kale and carrots, and otherwise they just eat tons of fresh grass. And they're so cute. Although I must confess, since they don't do anything for us, they're just pets. Arya would never let us eat these bunnies. I'm not crazy about them.
They're not super tame for kids to handle all
Yeah,
the time.
they're not like a dog where they like to be pet or anything like that. They're more of a, a semi-tamed creature that, we spend time on every day, and they look cute, but they're not doing much else for us. So part of me thinks eventually they could go away, get rehomed, and then that frees up this tractor for meat chickens or just more laying chickens, because we're gonna go buy some baby chicks. We're gonna buy some baby chicks today, and it'll take them a month or 2 before they're ready to move outside, but it would be nice to put the new little chicks in this chicken tractor while they grow up, because they're not ready to get thrown straight in with the big birds when they're too little. So we showed you the bunny tractor there. The chicken tractor's the one with that white tarp over there. Walking back towards the house, the next thing we'll show you is we're trying to do some tree propagation, because at the farm we want to have tons of trees, and especially productive trees. So in our front yard, that big tree there is a walnut tree that produced a good amount of English walnuts for us. So we are trying some tree propagation where we just took little cuttings off of it and stuck them in the ground. So if you can see the label there, English walnut with a date. I'm fairly certain, my understanding of walnut farming is they're usually English walnuts grafted onto black walnut roots. So we took cuttings from way down where it would have been below the graft. So half of these would be black walnut cuttings, and half would be English walnut cuttings. And this little bit are some apple saplings, and these little dudes are apple saplings. So we're just trying stuff. We're trying to grow trees that are productive, and who knows? I think a lot of these will turn into trees, but it didn't cost us much but some time if it's a failure, but it might work. And speaking of tree experiments, looking through our window, a friend we had visited had thrown a bunch of acorns in a bucket of water, and some of them were sprouting roots just in the bucket of water. So there's 5 little oak saplings there. Not certain they're all growing, but definitely a couple of them are. You can see those green leaves. Hopefully you can see something through this window. Now we're behind the house again. You can see the water buckets there, and we're gonna walk to the garden real quick. So we planted a fall garden at the start of September, and then we got really early cold weather in October, mid-October, that killed some beans and just kind of slowed everything down. But it's through the winter, the kale has reliably kept growing. The daikon radishes did great.
And spinach.
The spinach kept going. The lettuce really stopped growing completely, didn't it?
But I picked some yesterday. We're just about at the end of how much lettuce we had.
Yeah, but the fava beans stayed up. They stopped doing anything, but they stayed alive. So as spring is coming along, I think they'll just shoot up and give us beans. Today we're probably going to plant a few, what were they, snap peas?
Snap peas.
Snap peas, I guess they're supposed to be pretty cold tolerant to just direct seed right now in February. And I've got a little more tree propagation going on here. There are walnuts over there. There are apples right here, and some more oak attempts over there. Those oaks, I don't know if you can even propagate oaks just from cuttings, but that's what that experiment was. Honestly, I don't think I even Googled it. I just tried it, and it might be 0% success rate, but it took 5 minutes to cut some little saplings and stick them in the ground. Yamix. One other thing about the garden, we're trying to get some, collect some of our own seed. So a decent amount of the daikons, we just left them in the ground, and they're bolting. So you can see there's the bolt there, and way down in here you can see the daikon sticking out of the ground. Can you? It's in there. Whoa! So we'd really like to start collecting our own seeds. So this lacinato kale is bolting as well. I was hoping regular little radishes we could get seeds as well, so we just left a few in the ground. That turned into the big ugly radish. I don't really see signs of bolting yet.
Maybe though. This looks like new
Not
stuff
giving
on
up.
top.
We'll see. And Tina just came out with the sugar snap pea seeds, so let's go pop those in the ground. All right, pumpkin pie, you ready? So we've just got a simple trellis here where, if I remember right from the beans we planted before, most climbers just want to like wind upwards. So I think all these cross sections weren't very necessary. So I ran a few vertical runs, and I think we're just going to pick 5 spots down here and grow 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sets of peas in this spot. There's some other trellises around, but I think we'll just start with a few right here.
One thing the bunnies do give us is a little bit of fertilizer, so here we
Oh yeah, we collect cute little bunny poops. which from what I've read, bunny poop is about the most mild manure fertilizer you can get. You can put it straight on the garden and it's totally fine, unlike something like chicken compost, or chicken manure, which is really hot and you need to compost it and age it. So yeah, we're good to go. Did you read how deep they go? Those look like really little holes.
It doesn't have a...
You need to go a little deeper than that.
Okay, it doesn't have instructions on the packet here. One, 2, 3, 4, and
Yeah.
And 5.
Okay. So we'll see. We just did one in each hole, and I think we're gonna get a tiny bit of rain soon, but otherwise everything's really moist. There's dew every night, so even if it doesn't rain, there's moisture getting put down on the ground every morning. So I don't think we need to water these at all. Let's see. One plant we didn't mention was garlic. We've got garlic mixed in. It's doing well. I forget when the garlic's supposed to be ready. I don't remember how long it takes, but it's growing well. I think it takes quite a while. I think it's probably, is it the next summer? Do you plant garlic in the fall and harvest it the next summer?
This garlic hasn't had any warm months, so...
Right, but it's done really well. Compared to the other plants, it kept growing the most through the coldest weather, I think. Because I forget the exact date that we put in the garlic, but it wasn't September 1st like some of the other stuff.
No.
It was later that month. Yeah. So we're in our little mud room, and we just freed up a space right there. We decided we're gonna put our little
baby chicks
cardboard brooder in this mud room for now. We're rookies at brooding. This is gonna be our first time, and we've been getting freezing nights. And we're worried that even with a heat lamp, keeping them out in an unheated space in the workshop we've got outside would be too cold for them. So we'll keep them in here for the first week or two and see how it goes. So here's the big box we are going to use as our brooder. We've got the heat lamp. I hung it with this string from the ceiling ready to keep them out here, but we're going to switch that up and take them inside. And we've got straw and pine shavings to stick in here. So we should probably do that out here before we take it into the mudroom. So let's do that. Alright, here comes Tina with some straw. Whee!
Ooh, it smells good.
Does it?
The pine, yeah.
Tina made her babies. Nice little bed.
Baby bed.
So cozy.
No pine shavings and some straw.
Yeah, I mean this is soft and bouncy, but what do chicks weigh? An ounce? they're not gonna sink down into this stuff.
We can easily adjust if they do.
And we need this is their feeder, waterer, and their lamp. So we'll bring all that in and get it set up. Kitchen for easy viewing. We just left the Eugene farm store and bought 12 baby chicks.
They're all in there.
They're in there.
If you can see them.
James and Arya are so excited. We're keeping them in this closed up box.
And it will keep them forever. There's our little chickies. Fluffy and cute.
All right, here we go, guys.
I'm gonna put one in. We got our baby chicks.
So this is a Barnevelder. We have 5 Barnevelder chicks. They're dark colored and lay a dark brown egg. And our one Barnevelder we already have outside, we loved her because she laid eggs most reliably through the winter. So I'm going to have him touch the water, touch the food.
I got Sarah.
Water.
It's okay, Sarah.
Food.
It's okay, Sarah. Here's Sarah.
Oh. This one's the oldest by far. This is a Buff Orpington that's a few weeks old. We wanted more Buff Orpingtons, but they didn't get a shipment of them today. But we went ahead and took the one because we really like the Buff Orpington
I
we
hope you're
have.
not the one that was pecking me.
James,
no.
stop. James, stop.
Okay, James, go lose a coin right now. And then you don't get to
Mommy
know
had a
it.
chick in her hand and couldn't stop
Go
you.
lose a coin, please. This lightest colored one is a California Gray, they were called. They'll be our only white egg layers. And I don't know a whole lot much else about them. That orangish color, this one's a New Hampshire Red. Related to the Rhode Island Red.